Hey there, welcome. Let's do the crypto astrology forecast on Bitcoin for the week. As you can see, I'm wearing Bitcoin orange. Okay, Bitcoin orange in honor of what I will expect coming as a giant rally, okay, in Bitcoin. And that I'm not saying today or tomorrow because as I record this on Monday, Bitcoin is breaking down, okay? It is coming down. And I'll show you on the charts exactly what I was showing to members on Friday about how it was likely that we had a couple days where we could come down. But then I expect us to rally, okay? But we have a lot of tension right now, a lot of tension in the Bitcoin market, but it ends. And then we have the opportunity to get a really big rally. And there are several things that are contributing to the potential for a giant rally in Bitcoin. Of course, I can't guarantee anything. I'm not giving you financial advice. I provide information, not decision making. I try and give you the very best information available, and then you can make the most informed decisions. That's my plan, right? Because I see stuff that, of course, isn't just all the technicals. It's also what's happening with the stars. So Bitcoin, and I'm the world's first crypto astrologer. So Bitcoin is breaking down right now. I do expect that we're gonna get a rally, and we will get a rally probably as we head into the weekend. It will start, and actually, let's just go look at the chart, and I'll show you what I'm seeing. So if you guys remember, if you were out here watching me a couple of weeks ago, I was in the last few weeks, I talked about how we had a sort of change of directions, right? So how the market had been in a downtrend, this arrow here was a downtrend. We turned around right here, and then we started getting higher highs and higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. But now we have changed directions. We broke down. So what I showed members this weekend was that okay, so we had a shift in momentum, but was it long-term or not? That's the thing we don't necessarily know. Here's what I was showing members is that even though we kind of changed directions and went from a downtrend to an uptrend, I wanted to see if it's a long-term uptrend or not. And so I started, trying to draw a pattern on what do things look like here. And so what we formed here, and generally when the market does this, when things start to go upwards like this, and they're just pushing up without a giant breakout to the upside, generally that means that's called a bear flag, and it means that we are likely to drop. So this is what I told members, and we have done that. We've dropped over since, I did this on Friday, so the call on Friday, so we have dropped, and now we're coming back down into these, and I'm going to move this because this chart's getting too busy. There's too much to look at, but we're coming back to these levels, right? This is our ultimate low that we've had already. And so the question really is, are we going to just touch it again? Or are we going to go lower? We touched my first drop level in my membership, and I have another level where I expect that we can drop to, but it has to happen fast. We only have a brief period of time for this to happen before we're going to turn around and get big rallies. And as I explained, this is partially because of liquidity issues. However, let me let's look at the whole crypto market and just take a look at what it looks like. Okay, we're getting a lot of red, okay? We're getting a lot more red, even after having pretty brutal, 10%, 6%, 5% drops. Bitcoin has dropped 5% in the past week. We're down to 85.9 after having been up into the low 90s again. So everything is looking low, is looking pretty, like it's going down. There's a couple things that are turning around, but they're not really. Monero, which has been doing really well, actually. There's a couple, but basically everything is dropping. But Bitcoin Cash over here at 528, even though it's had a big drop at 8.8% in the past 7 days, this is still much higher than it was not too long ago. So Bitcoin Cash is actually showing a lot of strength. So if you don't know me, if you haven't heard me say this before, let me be very clear that I have always been a huge Bitcoin Cash proponent. Since the day of the Bitcoin Cash fork, in 2017, I went to the debate in San Francisco. I listened to them talk. I was very clear that Bitcoin Cash was not going anywhere. It was going to be around. It wasn't a, pump and dump. It wasn't any of these kind of, crypto, money grab coins. It was basically doing what Bitcoin was supposed to do. And Bitcoin has been since captured. Doesn't mean it's not going to go up. The number will go up. You still want some Bitcoin. But Bitcoin Cash to me is absolutely the most better, the best option. Okay. It is the best Bitcoin Cash, and it will be used specifically in specific areas, which of course I've talked about to members. So Bitcoin Cash is holding strength while other things have gone down. And I do expect things are going to start to run. I will do a separate video, a dedicated video on Bitcoin Cash, but you guys need to understand that Bitcoin Cash is not moving the same way as the rest of the market. It is the solution when the system breaks. It is going to be one of the solutions that is going to be put in place. So, but having said that, the Bitcoin moves, okay, are downward at the moment, and we can drop down to that next lower level. But again, we have to do it quickly. Then Bitcoin is going to skyrocket once the liquidity pump starts, and that is coming, and it is coming fast and furious when it happens. So please be prepared, be ready for that. Of course, not financial advice. I only provide information, but put on your Bitcoin orange and go get ready to rally, okay? And hopefully pick something up at a cheaper price. Of course, the lowest we just got was 80K, right? So picking things up at 80K is going to be pretty good in the long run, in my opinion. Of course, you can try for something lower. Just know that you can miss out by trying to always catch the lowest. The bottom line is just get it lower, then you sell it. Buy it low, sell it high. The most basic financial, advice anyone's ever come up with, and the best of all, right? Of course, silver too is the other one that's going absolutely berserk. Prep yourselves, be prepared. This weekend, it could be biblical. I mean, we're going to see things happen that we've never heard of, never seen, not just in the crypto and financial markets, just everywhere. Like I said, in the Monday video, and of course, I'll put more videos out this week discussing what I'm seeing around that. So have a good week. Have a profitable time. Come join me over at auraright.media if you want more of those specifics, my lists of recommended coins, timing on certain things, when I expect the financial market is collapsing, which it is doing as we speak, but not actually dying yet. All of that in the members area. And of course, free stuff, lots of free information on the blog. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Have a good week. Bye.